My most memorable moment was sophomore year. We had a good year. I had a good year. We get to the conference tournament. 8th inning, we're down by 1 run, and up comes a guy from Mount Olive who hit 20-something home runs this year. I leave a pitch right down the middle, hits it about 700 feet. Wasn't feeling too good about that, and then the next inning, we score a run that would have tied it up. But hey, go me, lucky me. I blew it for the team.
All right, my favorite quote about Coach is, so been in the weight room working hard. Coach David had us doing a lot. We get to practice. One day we're pretty sore, going through the motions a little bit. The first ground ball gets hit to Woody at third. Woody comes up and makes like a 50-foot throw, not even close. Coach goes to him seriously. He's like, "Woody, what's going on, man?" "Coach, I'm sore. We're doing landmines." "What the heck's a landmine?" So the whole field sort of burst with laughter.
Advice for next year's team, enjoy the new locker room and the new facilities. You get the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The funniest thing that's happened is, well, don't fall asleep in the van. That's all I can say. Getting shaving cream put on my face while sleeping on our way back from Hilton Head. Well, I said a couple things to Coach, and I probably said to kick some of the people off the van. But yeah, that was a funny story.
My favorite quote from my coach is definitely "embrace the suck." It's kind of something he tried to instill in us to just face adversity and do the best we could. It's been our team motto this year just because we faced so much adversity. There's about 4 bus trips in a row this season where our bus either broke down or we had to change buses. So it kind of became a joke within our team that our coach was doing something to the buses every time just so that we'd have to face more adversity.
One word to describe my moments here, my experience here, I'd say interesting. Coming into this program, I didn't know what to expect, all the ups and downs we all go through and how hard we work in the room. And I didn't know what to expect from our coaches, and they turned out to be the most incredible men I've ever met. The type of guys that'll give the shirts off your back for you.
My favorite quote by our coaches would be "sucking less every day." And then my favorite moment would have to be last year against Coker. There was a fly ball off the fence, and I tried to grab it, and it was slipping out of my hand while I was trying to throw it. And I probably threw it about 50 feet in the air, and everybody on the field was dying laughing. And the girl from third would not even go home because she was too busy laughing at me when the ball was in the air.
So some funny quotes that our coach says, and I will always remember, are "Go get yourself a Happy Meal." "I'm gonna run you till you throw up." "A 7th grader shoots harder than you." "Losers play in the bouncy castle." And "You guys look like the Bad News Bears."
Our advice for next year's team and the freshmen coming in would be to savor every moment and to never let anything pass, because these 4 years go by in the blink of an eye, and we can say that as seniors. Like, it feels like just yesterday that we were freshmen. And so savor every moment and work your hardest all the time, because you never want to regret anything.
Advice I can give for next year's team is what the coaches always say: just put your career in your hands and do what you have to do for you to succeed.
My advice to the team next year would be work hard, have fun, but most importantly, remember and build a solid sisterhood with your teammates. They're the ones that are going to be there. Win or lose, they're around. You want to keep them close. The stronger the sisterhood is, the better you'll be next year. And all the sisters that have come before you will be cheering you on, whether we're there at the game or we're there in spirit. So good luck next year.
One word that describes my experience here, this is a tough one. I would definitely have to say it was breathtaking, from being recruited, stating that I would probably get turf. I think thankfully I finally got a chance to play on it. One of the first teams to ever play on it, which was awesome. And probably, if all goes well, as we continue to push for our goals and work as hard as we have to play a semifinal national championship game on the turf and break it in for everyone else for the years to come.
My most memorable moment, I would have to say, would be my freshman year. It was my first time ever running track in college, my first indoor meet ever, and I was running the 5K. And I'm last one to finish, and suddenly someone comes on the loudspeaker and they say, "Attention, we have one more girl on the track. She's in blue, watch out." And it was just so embarrassing because I was the only one left on the track running, and it was just crazy watching people look at me as I ran by. So that was the funniest moment of my career.
I would have to say my most memorable moment at Limestone is when we won conference championship my freshman year, and we found out before the second game at Queens, and we were rewarded with eye black. And I just remember that Hannah Mills got to do cat whiskers and played with cat whiskers on her face for the rest of the game. Some advice for next year's team. I would say always make sure we have someone doing the sweep dance after every series. It's very, very important.
And always ask Coach for pensional practices, because she's a go for pensional practices for sure.
One word to describe my experience here would be fast. It all went by so quickly. Like, it seems like yesterday I came here, I was a freshman. Been here this is my 5th year now, so. And then advice for next year's team would be come back in shape. You don't want to be mauled by Coach Lamb like we have been here in the past couple of years, so just make sure you guys are ready.
Definitely my most memorable moment would probably be the conference championship, because it was a tough meet, and I actually had a stress fracture when I ran in that meet, and so it made it even harder for me to run. But just the fact that my team needed us to win, they need the 4x4 to win, and I was able to run the opening leg of that 4x4, and we took gold, and we got the conference title. Go Saints, turn up.
You really said gold. My favorite story about my coach is actually this week. So he's ragging on Brandon about his height, and the funny thing is, Brandon's not even the shortest guy on the team.
4'11", man.
5'8".
So
he's telling Brandon how he can't climb up a hurdle or whatever, and so he puts his leg up like he's mimicking to climb up a hurdle and rips his pants like all the way through from seam to seam. So he had to go get one of the guys' jogging pants to wear around practice the entire day. That was probably my funniest story about our coach.
My funniest story would be it was a few years back. We were at South Carolina, and it was at the end of the meet, we're all packing up to leave, and all of a sudden you just see our head coach just roll down the hill, and he ended up falling down the hill, and he gets up and tries to play it off like nothing happened at all. So I thought it was funny.
My favorite quote is, this is a personal announcement. I am not short. I am 5'8". I just want to let y'all know that I am not short. I am 5'8". I measured myself multiple times. I'm willing to do this measurement again. It doesn't matter. You can find me wherever. Just bring the yardstick, ruler, whatever you want. But I am 5'8". I'm just saying I'm 5'8". All right.
That's it.
Excuse what he just said. He is 4'11" on a good day.
4'11" in high heels. In high heels, he's 4'11".
My favorite quote or story about your coach is the look of death, as I like to call it. Coach Clark looks at you, doesn't say anything, and stares into your soul. And it's one of the scariest things I've ever experienced, and I'll never forget it. And at times when I need that look, I like getting it sometimes. I'll never forget it though. It stares right into your soul. So that's something about Coach Clark.
My most memorable moment at Limestone was our junior year when we won conference tournament for the first time. We beat Barton quite convincingly. After several years of not winning anything, it took us a long time to finally win something. So when we finally did, it was a really good feeling, and we had a really good night back at the house after that. Good party.
The funniest thing that happened was probably when young Sam Orrit missed the ball, tried to kick the ball, slipped over, fell on his bottom, and everyone laughed at him, and it's probably the best person that to happen to. So yeah.
I think my favourite quote or story about Coach is like we'd be at training and he'd like do something good, like he'd shoot at the goal and he'll like put it like top corner or something, and everyone will be like, "Whoa, coach, nice!" And he'll be like, "Yeah, that's why I'm paid the big bucks."
Yeah. The funniest thing that happened was a trip to Orlando, or it was Tampa, and we went to the aquarium, and we went to the aquarium for a penguin show, and the penguin show was one measly penguin on a red rider scooting across for maybe 10 seconds, and that was it.
Well, something I'd like to leave behind when I'm gone. Couch, I'd like to leave to Devin because, he's been a great friend. My Xbox controllers, to Mel probably. You deserve them, bud. Everyone, my clothes free for all. Have it. I love you guys.
I would say the funniest thing that's happened to me and my friend Caitlin here while we've been here is probably our short experience with video production when we were freshmen. I have plenty of music videos that are available to view online on YouTube, and that's probably the funniest thing that I've probably done here.
The grenade out the window. The Cavs are here.
Oh my god! And Jersey Shore, everything involving Jersey Shore.
Hello.
Hi.
Field Hockey.
I'm Lindsay.
TJ. Carrie.
And we're going to start off with our most memorable moment, which would have to be when we won the championship, for the simple fact that we are 5 years old and we made a huge name for ourselves this year, so it was only right when we won. And we won it in the most dramatic fashion in a shootout.
Of course.
And we didn't get scored on, and we scored 2 of our goals, so we killed it. The memorable moment about that was when we all basically kind of stopped, realized we won, and everybody dogpiled each other, because it was in that moment that the past 4 years of us all being together just was it. It was worth it. I mean, we had never been so close than we were right then. So that, of course, was the best moment anybody could ever want. Who doesn't want a championship?
The funniest thing that happened or story was probably when Coach Fox was giving us one of his halftime speeches. Coach Fox always says really hilarious things at halftime, and you're not allowed to laugh because he's really heat of the moment. But one time he said something to the effect of, "Guys, I promise you if we score more points than they do at the end of the game, we're gonna win." And we're all looking at each other like, okay. I thought that was a given when we play basketball games, but sure, Coach, we're gonna do that.
The famous words of our coach, we have one more question to ask you.
What's that D word we love so much? Details.
The most memorable moment I probably had at Limestone would probably be winning the conference championship. It's the most memorable because it's probably the best way to go out as a senior.
Our favorite story about our coach is before competition, we'd always say that we want to make our coach pee her pants. And so, we would always strive to, do our best on the mat. So she would be, so excited that she would pee her pants at the end of competition. And I'm not going to say if she ever did or not, but
she did.
And our advice for next year's team is to remember to always stay fierce.
Another really funny thing that Coach Fox does is that he talks to all the refs. Even when he's yelling at them, he talks to them like he's known them for 10, 20 years. He knows every ref, he knows their first name, last name, social security number, all that stuff. Every time he gets mad, Jeffrey, help her, she needs help, that's not the right call. He will argue almost every call the entire game if it doesn't go our way. And then at some point he always throws in I can't be wrong on all of them, Mike. I can't be wrong on every call. I gotta be right sometimes, Mike, with that real fake smile. It's hilarious.